I'd spent 2 months with 4-2 Commando Royal Marines in one of the most dangerous places in Afghanistan, Nad Ali North. A Taliban heartland thick with IEDs and crawling with insurgents. At checkpoint Toki, the Marines' job was as simple as it was terrifying. To put themselves in harm's way, become the target of Taliban attack in order to tempt them away from a small, war-ravaged village to the north. The Marines became human bait, or to put it another way, a red rag to the Taliban bull. After a 6-month tour, not all the Marines made it back home alive. 7 made the ultimate sacrifice. But many more suffered life-changing injuries. 3 of them I had got to know well. Paul Weiss, Vicey. Dog handler, Mick McConnell. And young troop commander, Simon Maxwell.
On the stretcher, I started sort of going. Richie was saying, "No, think of your kids, think of Tessa." And I just thought, it's got to be bad now. I think now if they're saying things like that.
There's a smell I remember more than anything, the smell of blood. There's cuts, the blood. He obviously had been brought fresh from the field, straight onto the bed. It's horrible.
Just the reality of it.
When he was patting me down saying, "Don't worry, Mick, it's all still there, everything's still there." That was just immense, I'll never forget that.
In 2014, the plan is for British combat troops to pull out of Afghanistan, and so right now the main military effort is to stabilise the place and begin the handover of control to the Afghans themselves. This is Lashkargah, the capital city of Helmand province.
Lashkargah will be the first of the major towns in Helmand to be handed back to the Afghan National Security Forces, which is a very big step forward indeed for this country.
It's a thriving city, buzzing, bustling, but still not without dangers. Even now, as a foreigner, I can't walk freely amongst the people. Instead, I have to ride on the back of an armoured personnel carrier.
This is the only way I can really see Lashkargah from the Top Gun position, this armoured vehicle. It's because people are still not 100% confident about security in the area.
And it's the same in the countryside immediately surrounding Lashkargah, free of Taliban control for the last year or so. Nobody's taking any undue chances yet, but there is real hope. The local economies look like they're flourishing. The market stalls are brimming over, and people seem happy, relaxed and friendly.
This is an area of Helmand which is very secure now and relatively benign, and this is where a lot of very determined work is done here by a lot of British soldiers in the last 2 years. And areas like this do give you the very distinct impression that Afghanistan is rising from the ashes, so to speak. And so here, I think one can be pretty hopeful, but it's only just over the horizon. And of course, there is still a war being fought in no uncertain terms.
Just 10 miles away, the fight is still being taken to the Taliban. This is Nad Ali North, where I spent 2 months with 4-2 Commando, most of it with L Company at the remote British outpost of Toki, right in the centre of what was described then as the most dangerous square mile in the world, still thick with Taliban fighters and laden with deadly IEDs. Nevertheless, the Marines of L Company patrolled the ground every day to reassure the locals, but also to tempt the Taliban into attack. The commandos were constantly monitored by Taliban spies, who were also laying IEDs at every opportunity, and who were taken out when positively identified.
Yeah, they work in teams of 2, 3, 4 and 5. His mate came along there thinking he was clever with his icon scanner, walking his hand against the wall. And then, oh, good night, Vienna. That's him. Yeah, Sam, mate.
The enemy could attack at any time. Nowhere was safe from ambush, but the Marines were always ready to return fire.
Get pepper left and right of the bud line, stop them moving out.
Roger.
Shot! Good shot!
Sort of pinged the firing point in here, so we started putting fire down. So we had about 150 metres to our front, which was them firing it at us.
So they were falling short of our position.
Yeah, just falling short of our position, luckily.
Good! Right, deliver rate of fire now, lad!
And just to the north, the village of Loimander that the Marines were protecting. Once a prosperous sheep market, it had fallen into ruins after years as a Taliban stronghold. But now, with the Taliban flushed out, the place was being made safe again.
Firing!
IEDs being cleared before renovation would transform it into the bustling market village it used to be. And that remains the hope.
Okay, Ash, we can get you set in the centre.
Certainly, when I went back after just a few weeks, people had started to return, and spontaneous market stalls had started to spring up in the back streets. It was a promising sign, although no guarantee yet that Loimander would survive, let alone thrive.
Matt, I know it's a tiny little shop, but it's small beginnings, eh?
Yeah. 6, 7, 8 weeks ago, no way could you have this kind of conversation. And people may say it's still a bit primitive. The atmosphere is right, they don't feel intimidated. Nobody's saying, oh, but Taliban this, Taliban that.
But whatever progress had been made, and whatever seeds of hope had been planted for the future, it came at a high cost. 7 Marines from 4-2 Commando were killed in Nadali North, one of them from L Company itself, and many more were injured, mostly by IEDs. 3 of them were by now friends of mine. In the time I spent at Checkpoint Toki, I got to know a lot of the guys well. Living cheek by jowl and facing a common foe, you get close pretty quick.
The main threat will be IEDs. Actions on contact IED. Get an IED, okay, with goal firm, self-treat yourself if you've got any arms and legs left.
Right, lads, prepare for orders for 3 multiple fighting patrol in vicinity of...
So I was shocked when I heard that the 3 I knew best had all been seriously injured.
2-3 days ago. Basically sort of fighting patrol because you don't want to get what do you call it? Complacent. Cheers, Harry. Don't want to get complacent around here.
Cy Maxwell, a young lieutenant, only 24 and just 6 months out of training, suffered a life-changing injury after stepping on a landmine. Paul Weiss, known to all of us as Vicey, 27 and on his 4th tour of Afghanistan. A master of gallows humour, he sustained terrible injuries from a huge fragmentation mine.
When are you going home?
Hopefully.
About 4 days in a 4-foot coffin.
Yeah.
The first to be injured was not a Marine at all, but an RAF dog handler seconded to the Marines with his sniffer dog, Memphis.
I have formed quite a close bond with the dog. I mean, I've been dog handling for about 14 years, and he's the first dog I've had I want as a pet. I just have to sweet talk my girlfriend when I get back in R&R and then see if she'll allow him in the house. But if I buy her something shiny, then Memphis could come home with me and be a pet dog. And diamonds always work for girls, don't they?
Mick and Memphis's job was to seek out deadly IEDs an incredibly dangerous task. As usual, they were right at the front of the patrol the day it happened.
The things that I can remember clearly is I was looking across the field in front of me, and I could actually see the farmers and the young children running away, which was really unusual. And just as that was happening, I stepped to my left and triggered the IED.
Mick's evacuation after the explosion was captured on camera.
I went down onto my left side, and as I went down, I was screaming because people had told me they could hear me in the checkpoint, really screaming. And the young Marine, Joe, who was in front of me, was actually just jumped on top of me and started patting me down and said, "Mick, don't worry, Mick, it's all still there. Everything's still there."
Yeah.
That was just immense. I'll never forget that. My foot was just burning. It was red hot and shock more than anything, because you don't know what's wrong with you. You don't know what that blast's done.
Hands are shaking.
Mick was incredibly lucky. The IED's main charge only partially detonated, but that was enough to shatter his left foot and ankle.
Oh, this would be out of the shit all. Hey, Casey there. You know what I mean? You're a very lucky man. You're fucking right on, man. Very fucking lucky man.
Memphis never normally barks, but now, being separated from Mick, he was barking like crazy.
No, dog will stay with us, won't it?
Mick, did you tell Lorna exactly what happened that day?
Yeah. Yeah, I had to tell her because she would, you know, because we're going to get married and we're going to be together. I'm not going to have secrets from each other, and it's best just to talk about it. We talked at length about injuries and what ifs before I'd went on tour to prepare ourselves for it, you know, and that helped when we come back. Yeah. You know, that we knew to be open with each other and to tell her what's happened.
But that also meant showing Lorna the footage of Mick's evacuation.
It was all a bit too real for me. I kind of wish I hadn't watched it. But it just...
Why is that, Lorna?
Just the reality of it. And I think sometimes when you know certain information, you have this picture in your head, but now I have, obviously not when it actually happened, but what happened after it. I've seen it now for real. I think maybe that will change in time and it will help.
Since being told it must have been about 14 minutes from the initiation of the IED to being on the mare and away. But during that 14 minutes, you know, your head goes through so many things. I can remember saying to the lads, because I was awake the whole time, from the initiation straight through to I got to Birmingham the next day, I can remember saying to the guys, at least I won't have to walk around here for the next month and a half, you know. Thank God for small mercies.
Cheers for the net. 2, 6.
Within a quarter of an hour, Mick was in Camp Bastion, and within 24 hours he'd been flown to Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Birmingham, where they desperately tried to save his foot.
I think everyone knows that members of the military can be cynical about their jobs, but the care that I've received is second to none. From getting that initial first aid by the Joe, to the help that I received on the mare at Bastion, on the Seacast into Bryce Norton and Birmingham and Headley.
Basically with the injury, my heel is totally fractured into hundreds of pieces. I had a dislocation of the ankle, so my foot was hanging off.
I'm on plenty of medication, but even on the medication it hurts to put my foot on the floor.
They did offer to get a stair lift in, but you know, I'm not that old. I don't think I could live with that.
And at what point will you have to decide between keeping the foot or not?
But the thing for me is I don't want a stick or a limp, so maybe down the line I will elect for an amputation because the majority of guys are walking normally and you wouldn't know they had it.
Yeah.
I used to get a little bit frustrated when people used to say he's so lucky, because I used to think he's not lucky. Nobody that comes home injured is lucky. But I know what they were trying to say. I'm very thankful that things weren't a lot worse, but I don't see it as lucky.
Luck, or rather bad luck, plays a large part in a war in which IEDs count for most of the deaths and injuries. Vicey knew that from day one.
Everyone knows it's IED central. The ground is absolutely riddled of them, and eventually we are going to set patterns, and sure as shit they're going to get lucky sooner or later, you know. And as well drilled and well trained as you can be, your luck's going to run out sooner or later, and luck does play a big part in it.
Within weeks, Vicey was blown up by a fragmentation mine, red-hot shrapnel tearing through his body and neck. Vicey's lucky to be alive and now back with his family in Exeter.
They brought me inside and told me that Paul had been critically injured in an IED blast. And I went into a state of shock. About 4 in the morning I drove up to Birmingham, then had to wait around until about 1 until I saw him. Felt like ages, felt like days.
I think I remember you walking in. That's when you cried, didn't you, when you first saw him?
It took my breath away, knocked me for 6. It's horrible. It's the smell. There's cuts, the blood. He obviously had been brought fresh from the field, you know, straight onto the bed, and he was covered in mud, grit, blood.
Good stuff.
Yeah, all the good stuff.
Vicey had 114 significant wounds, needing 159 staples. He had over 300 pieces of shrapnel and stones taken out of his torso, limbs and neck. He was left with a heart condition and deaf in one ear. And it all happened on a routine patrol that started like 100 others Vicey had done.
I remember we set off just before first light, and we went straight away, we crossed over a little stream, and we were going through 10, 12 foot sort of corn. Yeah, it's red hot. I remember it still getting hot straight away. I was fourth back from the front. Jordan started heading off up toward the junction, and he shouted out, "Oh, there's loads of kids just ran away." And as we know, that's like a combat indicator that, you know, something's about to go down. As I was looking over to the direction the kids ran, just see 2 blokes just like hunkered down in the corner of the field, and I just thought, fucking hell, that's a bit weird. And then as I looked down, I sort of followed my trailer sight down, I just saw this like oil drum, like that big, just poking through the bottom of the wall. And straight away I knew what it was. I thought, fuck. And I was led down the floor, and I was sort of thinking, fucking hell. And I thought, right, I've got to sort myself out. And I put my arm down my left, I was led on my side, I put my hand down my leg, felt my foot, and I thought, oh, that's still there. And I went down my other leg, and I could just feel the bottom half of my leg. I thought, well, that's still there. And then I remember going to my arm, and I couldn't feel my arm. And because I was dead on my side, I couldn't see it. And I thought, oh, fuck, I've lost my arm. And so I went to grab my tourniquet out my sort of shirt pocket. And then as I was feeling around for it, I sort of like slipped, and I put my hand inside my neck. My 2 fingers went actually inside my neck, and I quickly pulled it out, and then I sort of touched it again, and I just felt, and I thought, fuck, this is bad now.
His main carotid artery had been almost completely severed. He was losing blood in torrents.
I remember saying to him, stay awake, stay awake, stay awake, and I was like even trying to like just to wriggle sort of thing to try and stay awake. And I just thought, if I fucking go to sleep now, I'm never going to wake up. And then, especially when Richie said, think of your kids, and Tessa, I just thought, fucking hell. You know, this is it. I'm going to fucking die on this shithole country.
Fellow Marine Richie Pencott stemmed the bleeding by putting his knee into Vice's neck. This saved his life.
On my hardest to stay awake, and I was going, fucking hell, you know, stay awake. And then I remember going, and then I just thought, fuck, this is it, you know, I'm dead. And then I sort of, my vision sort of went a bit funny. It was like I saw like a minute picture, but everything else was black all around. And then it sort of shot in, like it zoomed in, a real quick zoom, and I was back, and I was like, fucking hell.
The medical team on the helicopter continued the battle to bring Vicey back from the brink. He died twice. Both times they restarted his heart. They gave him 14 pints of blood.
I think it was coming out as quick as they were pumping in, sort of thing. You know, where my artery was 95% severed, it was hanging on by a thread, sort of thing. And then it was just so happened that there's the best vascular surgeon in like the UK had just arrived in Bastion, and you know, and he saved my life, sort of thing. Took the vein out of my leg, which I was a bit weird about. I think, you know, if they take it out of my leg, I mean, surely I need that. You know, so I think they might just cut and shut it, or just completely.
That's the scar.
Yeah, it goes right up, you know, up there. Well, I've obviously lost so much blood to the brain. I've got a brain injury. You know, a bit of my brain has died, which then caused my hand not to work. It was originally my whole arm, but I've got sort of a glove effect now on my hand. Whereas, you know, I can't individually. I could do like, I can move my hand open and close it, but I can't, you know, I can't individually move any of the fingers.
Right.
You know, I can open and close it, but that's as much as I get, and I've got no strength in it anymore. But, you know, I'm having a course of Botox in that, so it look really young, so that'd be quite good.
Vicey is making great progress, but the healing to body and mind is going to take a long time.
Marines is held across the world as being, you know, a good fighting force, and to go from sort of being in the top sort of 10% in the world at what I did to coming down to what I am now, you know, it's fucking, it makes me fucking angry, really angry. And I just feel that they've taken away from me something I was good at, because I was fucking shit in school. Academically, I can't do shit, but, you know, soldiering is what I was good at, and now they've taken it away from me. I'd like to take a lot of things away from them, which is their lives. And if I didn't have Tessa and the kids, like, you know, with me now, I'd be straight on that plane, disabled or not, straight out on that plane with a fucking great big chain gun, and I'd just go burn them down.
The Taliban?
Yeah. Just hatred towards them.
Vicey will never see frontline action again, but he will always have the comrades he fought alongside, the Marines of Lima Company, who he's now preparing to see for the first time since his injury. RAF Bryce Norton, where the men of L Company returned after their 6-month deployment to Afghanistan. Waiting for them, family and friends, including, of course, Vicey.
I've got this little sort of burning feeling in my chest, sort of thinking, oh God, we just can't wait to see them. Just excited, but I know obviously they want to see their families as well. My injury's been and gone. You know, it's all about the lads now getting back, making it all so they're all mentally sound. You know, just getting on with their adjustment process of coming back to home life and just enjoying their leave. Oh man, it's good to see you. You big ugly fucker, how you doing?
All mates together once again. But the one Marine Vicey most wanted to see was the man who knelt on his open neck wound immediately after the explosion, stemming the bleeding and saving Vicey's life. Richie Pencott.
Yeah, and then when he came through the door of the arrivals lounge, I sort of felt a bit bad because I just sort of mugged a couple of people off. If it wasn't for Richie initially getting to me, I'd be dead now.
There he is.
Covering.
All right, mate.
All right, mate.
Thank you so much, Bruce. All right, mate. Put the fucking tea man. Thanks so much, mate.
Don't worry. Don't fucking worry. It's lovely. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's been a gnarly scar, isn't it?
Oh, it was a good feeling, but it's not one I want to repeat again in a sort of weird way, you know, because Owen's somebody so much, and there's nothing I can do now which I think will ever repay him for what he's done for me and my family. Because, you know, it's been a hard road, and I'm still on it, but you know, I can't ever thank the pair of them enough. Welcome home, Frankie. How you feeling, mate?
Vicey organised a slug of port for every Marine that day, his own inimitable way of welcoming back the men he'd fought with side by side.
You shouldn't be having one because you killed the fucking duck. I remember every single person I've ever been on ops with. You know, it's a bond that will ever be broken. It's weird because, like, people, to me, jumping out of a plane is fucking mental, but you know, to other people, getting shot at is, but we fucking love it. I mean, as long as you don't get hit, it is fucking brilliant. There's no buzz like it. I mean, you know, you've been with us when it's going on. You know, at the time, you're focused, you're doing what you have to do. You know, you're killing them, and even like close shaves with IEDs, and you laugh about it. You just laugh at it, and it is a sick sense of humour in a way, but it's how we get by, and I think it's that sort of extraordinary experience that you share.
Yeah.
That sort of binds you so tightly.
Also at the airport was Simon Maxwell, the young troop commander and the last of the injured trio from Toki I'd got to know well.
It's weird when you're out there, you literally just do anything for any bloke in your troop. There's lads who've dragged themselves out from QE. They've only been, you know, come out of theatre a week ago, and they've come down the wheelchairs, you know, meet the lads coming in and stuff. I think I said before, you can't buy that. It's everything.
Simple sliding doors separate two worlds. And on both sides, family. One side, the Marine family, bidding each other a temporary farewell. And on the other side, the real family, who've been waiting 6 months for this moment.
Well, lads, prepare for orders for an ambush. Mission: we're going to lay an ambush in vicinity of Yankee 1 Charlie, Compound 13, in order to kill local Taliban fighters and dickers. Have an up out? Cool.
When I first met Simon Maxwell at Checkpoint Toki, he'd only been out of training 4 months. This was his first tour of duty. After I'd left Afghanistan, he wrote to me from Toki, saying all was well and that he had absolutely no intention of getting hurt.
We were patrolling down to a CP, so it was a fairly long patrol, and towards the end of the day, came under contact pretty much straight away, which wasn't particularly unusual for Slang, place we were. You know, it's quite small arms fire, it's a fairly sort of usual part of it. The whole way down, we sort of followed a river, and it was quite sort of quite Gucci, sort of, you know, in the reeds, sort of schnorgling along. And then we came back across open ground. It was my decision to, you know, use that open ground. And basically, I just stood in a device, completely open ground, not channeled at all, and just went up in the air. The blast, I can't remember the sort of flight time, but I can remember landing in the ditch and then sort of looking down. First reaction was just, it was weird. It didn't feel like But the first thing I started doing was hitting the bank and saying, fuck, this shouldn't have been me, it wasn't supposed to be me, sort of thing. Then, yeah, and then you get the paint shooting through and stuff, and out there the ditches are just full of just, they crap on them. I just remember getting the smell of that as well, so that was nice. I mean, the lads were saying you would definitely be able to keep the foot and stuff, but you can just, I mean, I could, yeah. I could feel it, it was fucked, basically. I was sort of saying to the medic, Whitey, I was going, fuck, this fucking hurts. I was like, are they gonna knock me out on the helicopter? And the sergeant major, who just happened to be on patrol, just sort of came in my face and was like, I'll fucking knock you out, sir, you don't stop fucking moaning. Right, yeah. There were lads cracking jokes and stuff, you know, when they're injured, and you've got to sort of try and join the trend. Basically, with the leg, it was down lower when they first cut it off, and then they had to amputate up a bit further. But I mean, the surgeons in Basti down in QE are hoofing are really, really good. So it's just a sort of clean skull way around, almost like a smiley face. I've been winding up the missus saying I'm going to get 2 little eyes tattooed there, so it looks like a crocodile.
After hospital, all the injured come here to Headley Court for rehabilitation.
So let's talk me through this. What is this?
Right, this is the Waterloo gym, and this is basically where you do most of your rehab, so the exercise rehab side of it.
Simon has always been a keen athlete, and he wasn't going to let losing a limb change that.
Watch me hang out. When you're up on the leg and stuff, yeah, this sort of keeps you fit when you're up on it. Apparently it is hard work. People kept telling me, right, you'll have dark times ahead, you know, you'll have snags and stuff and all that sort of stuff, but you come to a place, you see them in Bastion, you come to a place like Headley Court and you see lads with like triple amputees and stuff, and I won't name names, there's a bootneck in here who's triple amputee who's just hoofing. Like, I've never heard him complain, never heard him moan. You see lads like that and you just can't ever get annoyed about your own situation, because at the end of the day it's a foot, do you know what I mean? Yeah, you'll be all right.
3 months after his amputation, Simon is about to get a new leg.
Hasn't been used in a while.
No.
Basically hopefully getting prosthetic leg on for the first time, so hopefully first time walking, basically.
So it's quite a big day, really?
Yeah, cross fingers. Cross fingers big day, but we'll see. It's weird. Doesn't... What's the sort of time frame usually you see on guys who sort of injured? I know it differs from person to person, so it's hard to tell all the rest of it, but in terms of
before you get to where
running,
it doesn't have to take a long time. You know, if everything goes ideally, you're talking, you know, a couple of months, sort of thing.
Sure.
I take it there's some sort of thing you're desperate to do, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we were talking about hopefully Ironman by next July, but we'll see.
And have you done Ironmans before?
No.
Ironman, Simon, that's just big marine talk. Now you've got to deliver.
You watch me fall over after 10 metres now.
I don't necessarily want you putting all your weight on straight away, so that's it. Okay, so the foot's a bit far out at the moment.
Right, do you want to put that on, or do you want to...
Good, have a seat, is that?
Yeah, that's Ethan.
You need to make sure you bend your knee, because bending your knee gives you ground clearance.
Okay. It doesn't feel like a foot, though. So it is, yeah, it's the...
You're not going to be happy, are you?
Right, if I can do keepy uppies with this on the first time. No. The reason why you join the Marines is for, you know, the excitement, the buzz, and, you know, I certainly got that. Albeit it ended slightly not how I want it to end, but if it doesn't work out with the Marines for whatever reason, if I can't go back and do the job I was doing before, I'll roll the punches, I'll find something else to do. Someone will have me somewhere. Yeah, but hopefully it won't come to that. We'll see.
The Marines will help rehabilitate Simon, and if they can, allow him to keep his job. If not, they'll retrain him for anything he wants in Civvy Street.
Just put him, you know, just even standing up instead of being in a wheelchair on crutches is really good. Feels strange, it hurts a little bit, not too much. But as I said, I'm doing some sort of weird like bops to the hip and stuff, but yeah, I'll get used to that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good. It's even. Yeah.
It's trainer.
Simon is very determined not to let his injury hold him back. The same with Mick, and of course, Vicey. 3 men, comrades, blown up in Afghanistan within a couple of weeks of each other, are now in the process of rebuilding their shattered lives. Mick McConnell, blown up in Afghanistan, is still convalescing. But right now he's heading to Lincoln to RAF Waddington, where he's being reunited with an old friend.
Well, today I've just finished my 3rd week of rehab down at Headley Court, and I'm now on my way to RAF Waddington to pick up Memphis, and I'm really quite excited about it. I've been looking forward to this day for a long time.
After 3 tours in Afghanistan, Springer Spaniel Memphis is being retired. The RAF is allowing Mick to adopt him. The last time they saw each other was the day Mick was injured.
I'm just hoping he recognises my voice and recognises me, so fingers crossed. But if not, I can just bribe him into loving us again anyway.
With a biscuit?
Yeah, plenty of treats and then he's anybody's. So he'll be fine.
So what's happening, son?
So we can go for a run. Basically just getting changed into the sort of running kit. And getting the running blade on, which is fairly new. Yeah, it's thoroughly Gucci. It's a good bit of kit.
Simon Maxwell lost a leg to a Taliban landmine 6 months ago. He's now back in training with a vengeance.
Got that one, didn't I?
Liz, you've been seeing Simon for 7 years. This must have been a shock to you.
Yeah, it was a shock at the very beginning, but I think everyone was surprised at how quickly we all kind of just got used to it. Yeah. Now it's not really, it's not much of an issue.
Right. Good?
Okay.
Feeling good, yeah? Feels weird. It doesn't really feel like a proper leg, obviously. But it's, as near as you can get to it, really.
What's your main ambition at the moment?
At the moment, Ironman. We're doing that in July. So there's quite a few of us doing that. So it should be good. It's just a challenge to get me out of bed, really, sort of next thing to crack. Being out there with that group of lads in Toki, in Luamande, in all the other CPs we were in, you can't buy that. And it was just hoofing to have and see, and yeah, it was good to be part of. And I don't regret for a second anything that's happened to me, at all.
You excited?
Yeah, mega excited.
Yeah, apprehensive though.
Yeah, definitely.
Mick's picked up his fiancée Lorna, who's going with him to collect Memphis.
How are you feeling, Lorna?
Apprehensive, yeah, but excited.
Yeah.
Excited, yeah.
You can't wait to spoil him, can
I
you?
know.
He's in the crew room, mate.
He's in the dispensary room.
In here. Hiya, Memphis. Memphis, come here. Hiya. Yeah. Good boy. Ah, too much going on. Memphis, come. He smells good, doesn't he? Come here, you. Oh, it's good to see you, man. Come on, Laura, you give him a pet.
So lovely.
You've been waiting a long time for this, hasn't it?
Yeah, a long time. It's just lovely. It's really emotional. Didn't expect to feel like this, but...
He's looking good, isn't he?
How is it, mate?
It's fantastic. That is fantastic. Here, give us the ball. Here. Is that too cold for you, Memphis? Good lad. Oh, he's still as clumsy as ever. It's good to see that.
It's good. Oh, that's it now, they're gone. Oh! I knew that was going to happen.
And what of Vicey, the worst injured of all? Well, after a lot of soul-searching, he's decided to leave the Marines.
I'm not an idiot. I know that's my career over. But, I'm not in no rush. And the Marines, the one thing they are good at is they look after you, because we're such a small corps. Yeah. They'll look after you, and they'll retrain me in whatever I want to do. And they won't let me go until I'm happy, which is, so I could get another couple of years yet. So, because I want to go to uni and do a project management course for building. That's the plan. But,
Right.
See where it takes me.
How do you feel about that, Tessa? Now, Paul, obviously his career is not going to be in the...
I think I'm finding it harder to take in than Paul, to be honest, because like I say, it's all I've ever known. It's all the kids have ever known. That's how we've lived for the last 10 years. So I am finding it harder to grasp than Paul. I still think that there's a chance he could stay in the Marines. He says no, but...
You can't stay in the Marines with hearing aids.
Yeah, you can.
The gammy foot around.
You're saying you used to sing, didn't you?
Yeah. But where the shrapnel's gone into me, I can't shout it anymore. I can't. It just breaks and goes, sounds all rubbish. Yeah, I can't sing anymore either.
You can't sing?
No. I would try and give you a little taste of it, but I don't want to break the camera.
Because they used to sing out in Turkey, didn't you? The old guitar.
Yeah, I used to have a little sing-song, but all that's over now. Thanks, Terry.
What's that, your singing voice?
Yeah, it's gone, isn't it? I'm shouting. I bet you're glad I can't shout.
I don't think it was ever there, Paul.
Oh, come on.
Come off it.
Not X Factor material then,
Oh
Tessa.
my goodness, you should have heard him.
She sounds like you. Hannah is scary.
And Afghanistan. What about its destiny? Its own hopes for the future? I went back to make my own judgment. Back first to Lashkargah, the capital of Helmand province, to witness the first stages of transition. The transfer of responsibility from the international forces to the Afghans themselves.
So today, Afghanistan takes its first tentative steps towards transition, and the whole world is watching.
This was an historical event, but highly stage-managed for the press and visiting dignitaries. A headline message to the world that Afghanistan is at last on the mend. But for me, that message was not to be heard here, as clearly as I hoped it could be heard about 10 miles away. Not in a big city, but deep in the rural district of Nad Ali North, the place that the Marines liberated from the Taliban 6 months previously. The village of Loimanda, for years war-torn, deserted and in ruins. But look at it now. A fledgling bazaar has emerged. About 20 shops so far. It's a small beginning, but a beginning it is. Now, if peace can be nailed down, secured in the long term, who knows what Loimanda will be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and many other similar villages are rising from the ashes throughout Helmand. 7 Marines of 4-2 Commando died in the defence of Loimanda. The 100 men of L Company alone suffered a 20% casualty rate. That's 1 in 5 killed, blinded, brain damaged, or who lost limbs. And all for this bazaar. But consider this. Loimanda is Afghanistan writ small. Success is here thanks to the sacrifices of all those lost, and men like Vicey, Simon and Mick could spread throughout Helmand province. And perhaps, just perhaps, deliver Afghanistan from the turmoil and chaos that's gripped it for a generation or more.
Operation Herrick 14, Roll of Honour, 4-2 Commando, Royal Marines. Marine Nigel Dino Mead, Lieutenant Oliver Augustine, Marine Samuel Alexander, Military Cross, Lance Corporal Martin Gill, Marine James Wright, Sergeant Barry Weston, Marine David Fairbrother,